Hello everyone, this is the continuation of Unit 2. In the previous video, we did synonyms and antonyms. Today I'm going to do noun and pronoun agreement. Alright, so what is noun and pronoun agreement was already explained to you in the previous video. Right? Noun, pronoun, agreement. Okay, noun pronoun agreement. Now what did I tell you in the previous video? I said the noun should agree with the pronoun and the pronoun should agree with the noun in a sentence that you frame. Now what is agreement? Agreement is when you have the noun in a singular place, you should also have the pronoun which is singular. Alright. For example, if I say Ravi is a good boy, he goes to school every day. Now here Ravi is the noun in my sentence and he is the pronoun, right? If I say Ravi is a good boy and he goes to school every day, the noun and the pronoun are agreeing with one another, isn't it? Ravi is singular and he is singular. For example, I say Ravi is a good boy and they go to school every day. Yeah, they go to school every day. Is the pronoun matching the noun here? It is not matching. Why is it not matching? Because Ravi is a singular noun and the pronoun that we are using there is plural in form, where I said they and I did not say he. So this is what a noun pronoun agreement is all about, which means noun and pronoun should go hand in hand, which I explained to you. Now there is another term that you have to understand, which is called antecedent. Yeah, antecedent. Now what is antecedent? It sounds a little difficult, maybe you've never heard about it, but antecedent is nothing but the pronoun which follows the noun. That is called the antecedent. Alright? The pronoun that follows the noun is the antecedent. The word that you are using in place of the noun in the following sentence or in the continuation of the sentence is called the antecedent. Now if you have your textbooks, turn with me to page number 35 where we have noun pronoun agreement, and I am going to explain to you everything in detail which is given in a form of a table there. You have a table which has two columns. One is type of noun and the other is example. Okay, the types of nouns along with examples are explained in your textbook. So let's look at the first type of noun that is mentioned here. It says demonstrative noun. Okay, I'm sorry, pronoun. Demonstrative pronoun. Now what is the example that is being given here? It says this. Now this demonstrative is where you are demonstrating, where you are showing. Okay, this is a whiteboard. This I'm demonstrating, I'm showing you, right? I'm giving you a description. So I'm using this. And then it says that. Okay, that is a chair. This is a whiteboard. That is a chair. And then I have another one which says these are apples. These are mangoes. I'm actually giving you a demonstration. I'm showing you them, right? And then those are books. Those are chairs. So this is a demonstrative pronoun where I'm using this, that and those. Now coming to the second column, it says indefinite. Indefinite means something which is immeasurable. Something which is not definite. If you remember the articles, video, I spoke to you about indefinite and definite articles. In the same way, when I say indefinite, indefinite is something that is immeasurable, that has no boundaries. It is limitless. Now, what is the pronoun that we use in place of indefinite nouns? Example, anybody, somebody, everybody. Now, these are all indefinite. Anybody, you don't know how many. Somebody, you don't know who. Everybody, you don't know how many. So, all these are indefinite pronouns. Alright? And then coming to the next page. We'll turn to the next page where we have, the next pronoun on the next page is reflexive pronoun. Reflexive is yourself, myself, herself. Now what is reflexive? Where it is reflecting. It is reflecting. Okay. This gives me another example. For example, I ask you to introduce yourself. Okay. Assume that this is my first class and I ask you to introduce yourself. So most of us Indians, we are used to introducing ourselves with the word myself, Asha. This is how we use, right? Myself, Asha. And we think this is very polite, well-mannered, disciplined way of, speaking when you use myself. Alright? Actually, myself is a reflexive pronoun. And myself should be used only when the subject agrees with the pronoun. Okay? Which means the noun should agree with this pronoun. It should be a reflexive pronoun. Alright? For example, I say, I am Asha, and I did this myself. Okay, I have introduced myself. I said I am Asha and I did this myself. Now, myself is matching the noun Asha, isn't it? Those are the instances or situation where you use the word myself, but not as the beginning of an introduction. You should not use myself because they are reflexive. They are reflecting the noun. When you are using a noun, the next pronoun that you can use should reflect the noun. That is the time when you say myself or herself, alright, or yourself. All these are reflexive pronouns, which is already here. Okay, now coming to the next pronoun, which is interrogative. Interrogative, what is interrogative? You've learnt it, right? Interrogative is where you question. Interrogation is done by police people. They question, right? So when they question, they ask you WH questions. That is called WH questions. Now what are interrogative pronouns? The examples are given here in your textbook. Who, which, what, all these are WH. They start with WH, isn't it? That's why they are called WH questions, or they are interrogative pronouns, right? And then the next one, personal pronouns. Now what are personal pronouns? I, you, he, she, we, they, all these are personal pronouns, alright? And then we have possessive pronouns. Now what is possessive pronouns? Something that you possess, which you say it is mine, right? So the possessive pronouns here are my, your, her, his, their. So all these are possessive pronouns. And then finally we have the last pronoun, which is relative pronoun. Relative pronoun is, examples which are given here are who, whom, whose, which, that. All these are, relative pronouns. So these are, given to you for you to understand what kind of pronouns they are. So you've learned different types of pronouns along with their examples. Now let's go to another table which is at the end of your page. It is talking about certain errors that we make. Now before that, the few lines here in between are talking to you about the antecedent which I just spoke about. What is an antecedent? The pronoun that follows the noun. Okay, this antecedent should match the noun. Okay, when the noun that you use should match or should agree with the antecedent. Now there are a few things that are given to you as examples for antecedent. So here the rules for noun pronoun agreement are. Now what are the rules? The first rule here is if antecedent of the pronoun is singular, the pronoun should be singular. Alright. So here, as I told you, if the noun is singular, the pronoun that you are using also should be singular. Now before that, if you look at the previous sentence on top, just look at that. There is an example which is given to you here. It says, the noun in which the pronoun refers is called the antecedent. The noun to which the pronoun refers. I told you this, right? The pronoun is referring to the noun. That pronoun is called the antecedent. Now look at the sentence that is given as an example there. It says, Leonardo da Vinci was known for his technological ingenuity. He had in fact conceptualized a flying machine. Now here the same sentence, if you look at the sentence, in this sentence the antecedent of the pronoun is his and he is Leonardo da Vinci. Alright. Now here instead of Leonardo, instead of mentioning his name again and again, it is used as he and his. Those are antecedents. Antecedents are very simple to understand. Antecedents are the pronoun that is used in place of a noun. Alright. So the first rule that we read was the antecedent should be singular in form if the noun is singular. The second one is if antecedent of the pronoun is plural, the pronoun should be plural. Right. If they are plural, if the noun is in plural form, the pronoun also should be in plural form. The next is the pronoun must also agree with the antecedent in terms of person and gender. Okay, for example, I say, Ravi. Ravi is a good boy and she goes to school every day. Now what's happening here? you're using the gender which is male. And what is the pronoun that you're using in place of the gender there? Instead of saying he, you're saying she. Now this is also not an agreement. So you should see to it that in person and in gender too, your pronoun or antecedent agrees with the noun, right? Okay. Now look at the table here. In the table it says antecedents with conjunctions like and. Antecedents with conjunctions like and. Now the example sentence here is Raghav and Bhargav are proud of their performance in the recently concluded sports meet. Now the antecedent here is plural, right? So here it says Raghav and Bhargav are proud of their performance. So Raghav and Bhargav, there are two people here, isn't it? So it is plural. We are talking about two people. So the antecedent or the pronoun that you use in place of Raghav and Bhargav is their. Their. That is the correct, method of using a pronoun. Next, look at the next sentence. Antecedents with conjunctions like or, nor. Now the example is neither the sample nor the reports are available at the lab. Neither the sample or nor the reports are available at the lab. So what is the antecedent that you have used here? You have used the word are, because reports and samples are spoken about. Two things, right? When you're talking about two things where you're using or nor, you use the pronoun which is are, alright, which is the plural one. And then neither, there's another example given here, neither the reports nor the sample is available at the lab. Even this is correct. Neither the reports, because what have you done here? Neither the reports, you've already finished the plural form for report there, nor the sample. So whenever you are using an antecedent, when you use neither, you have to look at the latest word, which is sample, right? So when you are looking at the word sample, the correct antecedent or pronoun that you have to use is and not are, because reports is already done. We have used the plural form of report, which is reports. So you say neither the reports nor the sample is available. So you have to look at the latest word to add the correct antecedent to it. Fine. And the next example, pronouns as antecedents. The example here is these project reports are okay, but those need to have their certificates changed. Look at the sentence again. These project reports are okay. Reports are, the pronoun is correctly used there. Okay, but those need to have their certificates changed. But those and their, they are actually matching the noun that is being spoken about here. So the antecedent is in agreement with the noun that is spoken there. So these are the examples of, where you have to use correct antecedents. There are a few more examples on the next table. Read the examples and look at the example sentences and the explanation, which will make it easy for you to understand. So let's look at one exercise, one task which I am going to do here, and the other tasks should be done on your own. So just to review what noun-pronoun agreement are. Noun-pronoun agreement is nothing but the pronoun and the noun should go hand in hand, which means if the noun is plural, the pronoun should be plural. If the noun is singular, the pronoun should be singular. Okay, these are certain rules that you have to keep in mind when you are framing a sentence, right? Now look at the example, task 4 exercise. Everybody in the lab was ready to complete dash assignment. Everybody in the lab was ready to complete what assignment? Their assignment. T-H-E-I-R. Alright. So this is the right pronoun or antecedent to be used. The next one is sometimes students may want to improve dash grades in a particular course. Sometimes students may want to improve. Students. So what do you think is the pronoun? Sometimes students may want to improve their grades in a particular course. Now look at the third sentence. If cars are not serviced regularly, dash will consume more fuel. They will consume more fuel. If cars are not serviced regularly, they consume more fuel. The fourth sentence here. He saw dash professor in the library and decided to ask for some assistance. He saw his professor. He saw his professor in the library and decided to ask for some assistance. Now look at the last sentence in task 4. No matter how Ravi tried, Dash could not execute the program. Ravi was an example that I have been using from the beginning. Now you tell me, what do you think is the blank here? No matter how Ravi tried, no matter how Ravi tried, Dash could not execute the program. What is the right pronoun that you have to use here? He could not execute the program. As I said, Ravi is a person and the gender of the person should also match the pronoun that you use. So earlier I said, when you say no matter how Ravi tried, she could not execute the program is actually incorrect. So what is the right way? No matter how Ravi tried, he could not execute the program. So the gender is also correct with the pronoun. These are a few things that you have to remember when you are framing sentences. Be very sure when you are framing a sentence that your noun agrees with the pronoun. And the list of the types of pronouns have been already mentioned to you. It is given in a table on page number 35. Look at from 35 to 36. Read the examples of different pronouns that can be used in when you are framing a sentence and try using the right pronouns. Alright, and then in my next video, I'm going to talk to you about subject verb agreement. Subject verb agreement is also on lines of noun pronoun agreement, right? So like in a sentence where the noun and the pronoun should go hand in hand, they should agree with one another. In the same manner, in my next video, I'm going to talk to you about subject verb agreement, where the subject should agree with the verb. Alright, or the verb should go hand in hand with the subject. That's very important. You will learn about this in the next video. Until then, keep doing these exercises on now noun pronoun agreement, and it will make it you will find it easier. We only have one task on noun pronoun agreement. The rest are on subject verb agreement. So just to review what we have learned, I have spoken about different types of pronouns that can be used in a sentence. The first one is demonstrative pronoun, where you are demonstrating something, right? Where you are using this, that, those, and then these. These are demonstrative pronouns. Looking at the indefinite pronoun, indefinite is where you are not sure, where it is immeasurable, it is limitless, there is no boundary. So indefinite pronouns are anybody and something, everybody. Alright, all these are indefinite pronouns. The next one was reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun is where it is reflecting something. Alright, reflecting. As I said in a sentence, when you want to use a reflective pronoun, your reflective pronoun should reflect the noun that was used earlier, right? For example, yourself, myself, herself. So they have to reflect the noun that you've been using in the beginning of the sentence. And then coming to the next one, which is interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence, as I said, is questions, WH questions. Interrogative is where you are interrogating, where you are asking for questions. And when you are framing a sentence using questions or interrogation as your topic, you will use pronouns like examples are who, which, what. They are interrogative pronouns. Then if you come to the next one, here it is personal pronouns. What are personal pronouns? I, you, he, she, we, they. All these are personal pronouns. And then coming to possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are my, your, her, his, their. Possessive, it's mine, something that you possess. So these are the pronouns that you use. And then we have relative pronoun. What is a relative pronoun? Where you say whom, who, whose, which, that. All these are relative pronouns. What I'm trying to tell you, what is this table trying to tell you is, try using the correct pronoun with the noun that is preceding in your sentence. Okay, preceding, whatever precedes before the pronoun, it should match. Alright, the noun and the pronoun must match. And then I came up with another word, which was antecedent. What did I say was antecedent? Antecedent is nothing but that word which follows the noun, or which speaks about the noun, or To give you in simple terminology, it is the pronoun that is used after the noun, which is called your antecedent. And to use an antecedent, we spoke about 3 rules here. What was the first rule? The first rule was, if antecedent of the pronoun is singular, the pronoun should be singular. Alright, so the noun and the pronoun should both be singular in number when you are using them. Coming to the next sentence, if antecedent of the pronoun is plural, the pronoun should also be plural. Very simple, isn't it? If the noun is plural in form, the pronoun that you are using also should be plural. And then we have the third rule, which says the pronoun must also agree with the antecedent in terms of person and gender. Person and gender, I just gave you an example. When you are talking about a male as a noun, the antecedent or the pronoun that you are using should also match the gender. You cannot say Ravi is a good boy and then say she goes to school every day, because you are changing the gender here. Now, sometimes, what is confusing is Rama, R-A-M-A, Rama. In the Indian culture, we have R-A-M-A for both the genders. Yeah, male are called Rama and a female is called Rama. Right? Now here it is difficult, sometimes you get confused. But because you are an Indian, you know the Indian culture and the meaning of the names in the Indian culture, you should match the gender properly. In case you're talking about Rama, okay, which is a gender, which is a male in gender, you should say he. But in case you're talking about Rama, you're talking about a female when it comes to the gender, and you should use the word she instead of he. So this is a little confusing and can be very easily understood by us Indians, but very difficult for people of the native languages. Their mother tongue is English. They find it a little confusing. The same spelling, and you changing it from he to she. Now there are certain instances where you have to understand the difference and use it correctly. And let's look at the sentences once again. I hope you got the answers. The first one here in task 4 on page number 37 was, everybody in the lab was ready to complete. Everybody in the lab. Now this is indefinite pronoun. Now what is indefinite? Everybody is indefinite, right? So indefinite pronoun is anybody and somebody and anybody, everybody. All this I gave you. So everybody in the lab was ready to complete. What do you think is the right pronoun here? Their assignment. Alright. So everybody there. You're talking about a group of people. So you can't say everybody is in the lab is ready to complete his assignment, her assignment. You can't do it, right? So you should say everybody in the lab was ready to complete their assignment. Now look at the second sentence here. It speaks about, sometimes students may want to improve dash grades in a particular course. Students, is it plural or singular? Students is plural. So the pronoun or the antecedent that you have to use should also be plural in number. So you say, sometimes students may want to improve their, T-H-E-I-R, their grades in a particular course. Now look at the next sentence. If cars are not serviced regularly, dash will consume more fuel. If cars, what is it? Is it plural or singular? Cars. It is plural. If cars are not serviced regularly, dash will consume more fuel. What will you say here? What do you think is the right pronoun? It is they. And look at the next sentence. He saw dash professor in the in the library and decided to ask for some assistance. So you will say he saw his professor, which is matching or agreeing with the noun. And the last sentence is, no matter how Ravi tried, he could not execute the program. Here Ravi is a male in gender, and the pronoun that matches Ravi should also be correct when it comes to gender, and so you use the word he and you will not say she. Hope you understood what noun and pronoun agreement is. Try framing a few sentences and see if you are matching your nouns with your pronouns depending on the table and the examples that is given in your textbook. In my next video, I am going to talk to you about subject-verb agreement. Thank you so much.